Newly released emails from Jeffrey Epstein's estates are reigniting one of the most controversial questions in recent American history. Did Donald Trump know about Epstein's victims? Today, we are breaking down this emails review and why the story won't go away. According to emails obtained by House Democrats, Jeffrey Epstein explicitly claimed that Donald Trump knew about the girls. These emails, exchanged with Epstein's close associates Ghislaine Maxwell and author Michael Wolff, date from 2011 to 2019. One particularly explosive email dated January 31st, 2019 allegedly shows Epstein writing, "Trump said he asked me to resign. Never a member ever." Of course, he knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop.
Democrats also releasing this January 2019 email where Epstein corresponds with author Michael Wolff less than 6 months before the financier would be charged again, this time with sex trafficking of minors. Discussing President Trump's repeated claim he kicked Epstein out of his Palm Beach club, Epstein writing, "Trump said he asked me to resign, never a member ever. Of course, he knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop."
Another email reportedly claims that Trump has spent hours with one of Epstein's victims, whose name is redacted.
In an April 2011 email released by Democrats on the House Oversight Committee, lawmakers say Epstein wrote to his now convicted accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, 3 years after pleading guilty to sex crimes involving a minor, telling her, "I want you to realize that that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Unnamed victims spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned." According to the released emails, Maxwell responds, "I have been thinking about that."
These emails were obtained by the House Oversight Committee after subpoenaing Epstein's estates earlier this year. Democrats say that the documents raise serious questions about Trump's knowledge of Epstein's crimes and are demanding the release of the full files. Survivors of Epstein and Maxwell's abuse have been vocal in calling for transparency. In September, they held a press conference demanding that the Trump administration release all documents related to Epstein's crime.
This is a crime that, by our Justice Department's own admission, has 1,000 victims. 1,000 victims. Do you know 1,000 people? Think of the enormity of that. Could you be okay with a crime happening in your community to 1,000 girls and young women and not holding the perpetrators accountable?
Of course, the Trump camp has pushed back. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt described the emails as part of a smear campaign and insisted Trump had kicked Epstein out of his club decades ago for being a creep to his female employees.
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong. And what President Trump has always said is that he was from Palm Beach and so was Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago until President Trump kicked him out because Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile and he was a creep. And this email you refer to with the name of a victim that was unredacted now and has since been reported on in this room, so I will go ahead and say it, Virginia Giuffre. And it was CBS's own reporting, Ouija, that recently wrote that Miss Giuffre maintained, and God rest her soul, that she maintained that there was nothing inappropriate she ever witnessed, that President Trump was always extremely professional and friendly to her.
Trump himself has said publicly that he had a falling out with Epstein because the financier stole women working at his Mar-a-Lago club, including Virginia Giuffre.
For years, I wouldn't talk to Jeffrey Epstein. I wouldn't talk because he did something that was inappropriate. He hired help. And I said, don't ever do that again. He stole people that worked for me. I said, don't ever do that again. He did it again. And I threw him out of the place, persona non grata. I threw him out, and that was it.
But even if Trump never directly sent or received these emails, the exchanges raise uncomfortable questions. Did he know about Epstein's activities? Could he have stopped them sooner? And why were these communications kept private for so long? The emails are just the latest chapter in a story that continues to haunt American politics. Will the full truth ever come out? One thing is certain, the debate over Trump and Epstein is far from over. There is still a lot regarding this Epstein saga that we do not know, but just like most political scandals in America, when justice finally comes, it won't be about guilt. It will be about optics. And in the Trump-Epstein story, one thing is clear. Donald Trump will walk free. Trump will never go to jail, not because he's innocent, but because the presidency is sacred in America. America will never jail their president. Pam Bondi will also walk away clean, and Kash Patel will be left holding the bag. Ask me why. Let's start with Pam Bondi, the perfect face of political innocence, a former Florida Attorney General, blonde, polished, media-trained, and well-connected. She's been inside the Trump's orbit for years, defending him on television and at rallies. But here is the thing. America doesn't punish her kind. Pam Bondi represents a familiar archetype in American power, the attractive, well-spoken, white conservative woman who can wrap controversy in charm and make accountability look like persecution. When the shit hits the fan, she becomes the victim, not the villain. If any fallout comes from Epstein, Bondi will be portrayed as misled and unaware, never responsible. Now compare that to Kash Patel. Patel is brilliant, aggressive, and fiercely loyal, but he's not part of the old power network. He's brown, blunt, and a little too visible. He's the perfect candidate for the role every political scandal eventually needs, the fall guy. When the Epstein files and Trump's classified document chaos finally collide with public outrage, the system won't turn on Trump or Bondi. They are too valuable, symbols of the white political resilience. But Patel, he's expendable. He's close enough to know too much, but not privileged enough to be untouchable. And that is exactly how American machine works. Protect the face and sacrifice the hand. Pam Bondi will survive, protected by image and perception. But Kash Patel, he will learn the oldest rule in Washington. When power falls, someone has to bleed, and it's never the ones who look like her. You heard it here first. If you want updates as this story develops, hit the subscribe button and turn on notification. This is one case you will want to follow closely. Thank you.